Okay, shout out the video. Who is the pound for pound greatest? Who's truly the best boxer that the entire series? The great Takamura versus Ricardo, Real Deal, El Diablo Martinez. Oh, I love this idea. I'm sorry, I'm juiced up. I'm overdosing. I don't know what type of stuff I'm on. I would just look through like a Tokyo Revengers, just the entire series compilation video. And I don't know what it is. A fight broke out. I got juiced up, and I just. But in the meantime, I start thinking of this fight. I've been meaning to do this video or who's the best fighter for a while. And I thought about doing it, but yeah, I did do it. And I thought about doing it now. I just completely forgot about it until now. But now it's the perfect time. Who is the best overall boxer at Hajime Ippo? Who is the pound for pound best? And if talking the great Takamura was in the same weight class as Ricardo Martinez or vice versa, who would win that fight? And would this fight even be better than Martinez versus Sendo 2? More than Martinez versus Sendo 1. There's no guarantee for a rematch. Who knows? But overall, I love the idea of this fight. Whether it's a fight or just overall, who's the pound for pound best, it makes no difference to me. But I will say, Martinez is at a massive disadvantage. And the reason why Ricardo Martinez, the real deal, the El Diablo. When you get called the devil, that's you're a different breed of specimen inside the ring. And we still haven't seen everything Ricardo Martinez could do inside the ring. We just seen a quick glimpse in this and that. We already know that he is, to a certain degree, a close range brawler monster. Like he pulled against Freddy Gonzalez twice, but we've yet to see it. We yet to see his full strength and push to the limit. And I believe that Sendo could take him to that limit, but the question is how far, and the question is, will he win? I already made a video about that. But the reason why I say Martinez is already a massive disadvantage is, number one, we haven't really seen him fight. We don't know everything that he can do. Sure, we can sit here and say just because of word of mouth that he is or could possibly be stronger. But the only thing is, we don't know who he's fought. Only thing we know is that he's been an undefeated champion ever since he defeated AJ Dante. Well, I can't recall if they fought for a vacant belt or not. But he fought AJ Dante, and I think they was fighting for a vacant belt. I can't recall. Yeah. I think they were. I could be wrong on that. It's been a while. I'm a little rusty. But ever since then, he has taken on every single challenger in the featherweight division, beside from those two champions who is unifying who's going to unify those two belts. And Billy McGullum dropped his WBC belt, so that can go to somebody. I don't see why Mayata can't fight for a vacant belt for that. But which could lead to that whole undisputed video with Sendo versus Ippo. The best fight that could happen. The best Sendo, the best fight. Let's go Osaka, Tokyo. Let's do this. This time we gotta bring it back to Osaka. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me. But Ricardo Martinez have a lot, and I do mean a lot, of word of mouth. Now that word of mouth does hold a lot of substance to how strong he is, but he can't talk more. But even then, from that same mirror, you can say that Takamura has not really been pitched to his limits and beyond. Takamura has never been really outclassed, outboxed, or outstrengthened in the fight. It was like his key drag, and he just chose to pretty much just get hit with a long left that at first seemed like it could lead to some detached retina that it could not. And I've already made a little rant thing on that Reddit. I haven't been to that Reddit in months, alright? Just to give me a break. But I don't see why Takamura could have did what he done against T-Dragon a lot earlier. And against Reset Bison, he had a Charlie horse. And his eye was becoming swollen, so he was working on one eye, and there's no way he'd be able to see out of that anyway, so. No. Did he? No, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure he was. I'm pretty sure he was working on that one eye. Pretty sure. I could be wrong about that. Damn. Cause I know he had a ruptured eardrum, but I can't confirm you can see out of both of his eyes, so I cannot confirm that. I could be wrong. I could be. But those both like stigmas and conditions to why Takamura could not win that fight or it wasn't like true. It's not like put like this. I say purpose like Ippo against like Malcolm, Ippo against Wally, Ippo against Gonzalez. Takamura had never really had that fight with the right fighter in the right weight class where Takamura gotta pull out every single thing to his arsenal. So the same way I could say, oh, Martinez is limited, the same we could say Takamura is limited, because technically there's been no opponent that has actually really outbeat him in a way, because even before Takamura's weight management caught up with him against Bryant Hawk, Takamura was winning the fight. So it was starting to win the fight till he gassed out because of the weight management and everything else. So for the same way, you can say you can discredit Ricardo Martinez for not being as good or not having enough stuff to compare him to, the same you can do that to Takamura, because this is the same Takamura who claimed to Ippo that he could confirmably, without a doubt, do the Ali shuffle, just like how Itagaki. Well, he can't do the Itagaki shuffle, but he can do the Ali shuffle, and we get to see it. Or even like a joke as a gag, which might happen eventually, but for that same merit. So if you can't really judge off a feat with the fight, then who you can say is truly pound for pound? We talk about Takamura, who is a multi-weight WBC world champion, and he unified 2 of the belts inside the normal. He just went up to super middleweight, and he recently just unified the belts in the regular middleweight division. So he is a multi-weight world champion, which add more credence. But it's the same way Ricardo Martinez, in a unified champion, he has had more world champion fights than he ever have had regular fights, period, in his entire career. So from that same merit, how do you weigh those two? A multi-weight world champion compared to a guy who's in featherweight fighting in his best condition, because Takamura is still limited. We have still yet to see the best Takamura inside the ring. He's still dealing with weight management to a certain degree. Takamura's normal weight is 195. That's where he should still be at. So he is dealing with some form of weight management. So he's still got some way to go. For Ricardo Martinez, he's been in featherweight. He's been in his best condition. He's been at his best weight since pretty much he started boxing. And he's just been improving and improving and improving and improving. So it's just like, how do you weigh those? How can you claim that Takamura is the pound for pound greatest at the current time, where Ricardo Martinez has pretty much knocked out and defended his belts more time than Takamura has been alive? So you can go back and forth, you can go vice versa. You can sit here and try to claim Ricardo Martinez is the best. You can say Takamura is the best or the upcoming best based on what we've actually seen in the entire series. You can go either way. But I say the most interesting out of this entire debate is who will actually win in the fight, and that's the biggest problem. You cannot sit here and say one would win or the other. We can't speculate. But we cannot say, because we pull out Takamura in his best condition, which we've not seen. Just like Miyata, we have not seen Miyata in his best condition either. So you get Takamura in his best condition, and we get to see everything in Ricardo Martinez's arsenal. Who would truly win? That would be a fight for the ages. That would be a fight that you need to put on a Super Bowl phase, a Super Bowl phase. What? On a Super Bowl stage, it need to be shown to everybody. That would be one of the best fights in the entire series. The techniques, the punches, the counters, the timing. You'll be excellent. It'll be one of the best fights we've ever seen with Bill Stewart in the corner. And KOSS, there is no way this fight could not be one of the best in the series, and probably one of the best boxing fights that was ever animated or ever drawn on comic book paper. It could easily be the best. Because they both have the name, they both have the record, they both are. Well, Martinez is not really rising. He's just pretty much being the dominant featherweight champion. Because it's odd how no other featherweight champion who has a belt is brought up, which one of the WBC vacant belt could easily go to Miyata or to somebody else. Almost since Billy McCullum did vacate that belt. Yeah, but yeah, pretty much the only other person open in featherweight that is a major player is Miyata. Because Seno is pretty much contractually or verbally agreed to go against Ricardo Martinez, and aside from that, it's just Ippo and Miyata. Vort went to a different weight class, Mishima went to a different weight class, Itagaki is not ready, and Amai is not ready. So, well, that would be interesting if Amai after this fight goes to the WBC, and Amai fights Ippo, but I personally believe Ippo comes back, he might end up losing the first fight, or might have the crowd turn against him in a certain type of way. Because the coach did hint at that at the Vorik loss against Sendo. And I know that the Korigami and Takamura both hinted at that don't expect that you're Japanese, that they won't turn on your they won't turn their back on you too. So it was hinted, but it doesn't have to be followed up on. It's not that major, but I like to see it. I like to see it. I like to see it, because people do forget and people do move on. They really do. But yeah, the pound for pound, who is the greatest? A multi-weight world champion, and you have one of the most dominant and most ruthless champions to ever walk the face of the earth in Hajime Ippo. When you're called the devil, that is a different breed of specimen. What Sendo did down in Mexico was worldwide news. Ricardo Martinez is considered a super champion with one belt. How does that happen? Who's regulating those belts? How is that possible? Then Billy McCullum wanted to fight Martinez so bad he vacated his belt just to get demolished in the first round. So it's just talking about crushing a poor man's dreams. But I was gonna sit here and say, alright guys, Martinez is gonna win, he's gonna win because of this, and that. Or I can sit here and say Takamura is gonna win because this, and that. But we do not have the adequate amount of information for both of these two at their max in their best condition and their entire full arsenal. We do not have that type of information at all. Or where it's going to happen, what type of training camp it would be, how would they actually prepare for each other, even in the one scenario where, let's say, like tomorrow, it's going to be like an Ippo special where it's just going to be an entire back-to-back thing where the fight is actually drawn, and in that fight we get to see their entire arsenal. It'll be a back-and-forth fight. It'll be a chess match. It'll be one of the most brutal, savage chess matches I've ever seen. It will put Richard Bison versus Takamura to shame. It'll put Vork versus Mike Elliott to shame. Like any type of chess match we've seen would be put to shame. There's no amount of tactics or strategy that would not be brought up here. We will see the shoulder roll. We will see a combination of techniques of them going back and forth. We will be seeing who is the most relentless savage and who is the strongest Ippo character to date. Because I made this video, I always thought this should be an interesting subject, an interesting topic of conversation of who people actually consider the best between these two, because there's only them, and that's pretty much them. Those are the two of the best characters in the entire series. There's no what if or buts about that at all. So it's one of those things where just like that fight would be the most interesting. It'll be a fight that now need to be on pay-per-view. It'll be a fight that would not disappoint. You will get every single penny you paid to be. It will be worth it. It will be worth it no matter what. So it's just an interesting subject of conversation. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see how that would turn out. Very interesting. Because it can go either way. It can go either way. It can go this way. It can go that way. You can say it's going to be one person who's going to get it, or this and that. But anyway, I'll be more interested to see that fight. But then again, Senda was able to get a lick on Takamura, but even then, that was still just sparring after all. So you can't really judge everything off of sparring. Because, like, honestly, Amai only looked good against Ippo because both times he sparred with Ippo, he just came after a major fight. Pretty much. Both times. So it's not like Amai's fighting the best version of Ippo. So if they was to go into a real fight, Ippo would dominate Amai. Both of them times they was actually fighting, he would get absolutely dominated and destroyed. Just that easily. So to a certain degree, you cannot take sparring 100% credit because, number one, you don't know what round it is. Number two, you don't know how far in the training camp it is. And number three, it's not the actual real fight. There's nothing on the line. It's just training. You're still trying to test out stuff and figure out things. Unless it's like a Senna versus each, and that's the way Senna is stronger than Ippo. It is what it is. Ippo cannot keep up. He was just right those both straight off the couch, and Ippo didn't have what it takes. So it is what it is with that. But overall, hope you guys liked the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Overall, that's pretty much all I really have to say about the whole subject. That it would be one of the best fights, and it's not easy to judge, but it would be one of the most interesting. It would be one of the most technically brutal, savage fights we've ever had, of them going at each other, tearing at each other. I want to see what a Takamura liver blow feels like. You don't really see Takamura hit too many people in the body besides from like everybody else in the series, so it would be very interesting to see how that would turn out. and how Martinez would deal with that type of punch, that type of caliber of pure power Takamura has. And since the gas tank would be a problem, it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting with Martinez and his experience. Another thing that helped out Martinez is his overwhelming experience over Takamura. He's at least like 8 to 10 years older than Takamura, and he has had a more consistent outright 68 fights, and he's just been slaughtered, and most of his fights have been championship fights. He's an animal. He's an animal. It is very sad when you've beaten so many people that now, number one, you rarely fight people, and two, that you want to give people a chance to get a rematch because you already know they're gonna beat them. I already know you're gonna beat him. He is such a legend to a point where only a person as good as Takamura can actually beat him. His name is Sendo. Some people might say I give Sendo too much credit. He's not that special, this and that. I don't care what you people say. Sendo is destroying. Sendo is not only destroying, he is easily beating Ricardo. Not easily. He's not. I'm not that crazy. That'd be in the same comment that you have to lost your mind to say that. But I do believe Sendo has what it takes to beat a Ricardo Martinez. I do believe that the real deal will be defeated against Sendo. Maybe because I want that dream fight between Sendo and Ippo to happen so bad. That Ippo versus Sendo 3 for Undisputed, one of the best fights that could actually happen in the entire series. There's no guarantee it's going to happen, because as Major after Miyata come out and say it was more likely for the Ippo versus Miyata fight to be happening, and it'll be that fight for Undisputed. If it were to happen that way, I wouldn't be mad. I would not be mad at all. But I find it hard to see it that way, because the fight between Ippo and Miyata is important, but it's not end of the series type important. To me, it's not. I could be wrong on that, of course, but it's just, it could easily happen that way. But from the way the story's going and the way Sendo's getting all this hype, and sure, the main focus still is on the whole Ippo versus Miyata, but I personally believe it's going to come down to see Sendo Miyata. Because the whole thing with Sendo Kevin said, maybe it's just a bad case that she might not meet each other in the ring at all. I think in that context, it's better be fit that they won't meet each other at all, as like a final confrontation type of thing. In my opinion, it will be Sendo versus Ippo. It's just, it is what it is. It's just the way it's going to happen. You can claim I'm too much of a fan, claim I'm biased. You can claim whatever you need to satisfy your reasonable explanation. I believe Sendo and Ippo 3 is going to happen. There's no guarantee of it. Of course, there's no guarantee of it. I can't put my money on Hoshi or Mai. I don't know who's going to win that fight. We haven't seen them fight in a while, or even have a decent account against anybody, or how much they improve this. There's too many variables that goes into a fight just to say one person's going to win or the other. But who's truly pound for pound, who is truly deserving of the title of pound for pound, where it can go either way. It can go either way. It really can. Because Martinez is, I can't really say he's in the twilight in his career, but he is in the evening of his career, and he's still that dominant, and he still is in that top tier of a shape at his age. And Takamura is just like, he's rounding himself out into his prime, in which I wonder if they're ever going to go anywhere with the whole Takamura uppercut thing, and the whole beater uppercut that he wasn't able to really use properly. Because Takamura, he has all these abilities and techniques, but we don't get to learn all of them. It will be interesting to see for at least once that he gets to develop something in front of everybody, because he got mad that everybody else had a name attack, but he didn't. It's a great Takamura tried, and then he showed up in that panda shoot, and we saw that went down. Gotta feel bad for Takamura. He really did. He lived a very tragic and lonely life up there at the top. It's very. That's another thing. Takamura and Ricardo Martinez both prove how lonely it is at the top. They really do prove it. Because the Keith Dragon fight should have ended in round 2. It really should have ended in round 2, but it kept going. And Ricardo Martinez has just defeated everybody. And surprisingly, arguably, he was more excited than Sendo was. The fact that Sendo actually managed to drop him. Now, you can believe what Bill Stewart says, or you can believe what the reporters say. I'm going by what I've seen with my own eyes. Ricardo Martinez got dropped. He dropped. He whipped a wall. He dropped. He had the butter legs. He can't take Sendo power. He getting dropped. I've been watching this stuff too much. I need to put the Cocoa Puff down. This can't be a sugar rush. I've had no type of sugar. Only thing I've had was some spaghetti and some garlic bread that was made out of Heimberger buns. Let me stop canceling got that Japan. Who is truly the pound for pound number 1? Is it the real deal Ricardo Martinez, or is it the great Takamura? Current day, same weight class. Who would be the best of the best? Who is the best of the best compared on record? Or who is the best of the best based on skill? Because we got some key names: Richard Bison, Brian Hawk, David Eagle, Keith Dragon, and that's it. We don't know how many champions Ricardo Martinez had fought against, or how many times Ricardo Martinez could have possibly vacated a belt just not to fight somebody again, because that was his mandatory, and he already beat them multiple times. So we don't know everything about Ricardo Martinez to judge each other on resume, because arguably, just as much you could say this guy is major, like Ricardo Martinez, Freddy Gonzalez is the same way you can say a guy like Michael Goat, or like Keith Dragon was the best in this division before Takamura showed up, or Brian Hawk or anybody else. But then again, it's surprising how no one has called out Takamura for ducking him when Takamura has not become undisputed in any weight class, or has pretty much cleared out an entire division. Because for that same merit, you don't have any call outs, you don't got any announcers talking trash about him. I just think it's only Hajime Ippo, the only flaw I see is only from the boxer's perspective. You don't get nobody outside perspective or them reacting to what the reporters say. Pretty much, it is like a Japanese boxing perspective in a way. Yeah, I think it's better that way, and like the the American boxing perspective, where if you're good, you can get trash talked about. Even if you're bad, you can get hyped up. If you duck somebody, you can get hyped up, or anything like that. Or just people will just support somebody, or things like that. So it's better that way. It's better that way. But if I was to make a boxing series, oh boy, the trash talk would be real. People would get made fun of. The press conferences. You thought you seen press conferences, right? The Canelo Alvarez, Caleb Plant, you got Derek Joseph flipping an entire desk and going ballistic. Never seen stuff like this, man. That would have been the first time someone broke into a fight at a press conference, but oh boy, it will be surreal. Things will be going down, and people will have to be held back. Yeah. It's only like the press conference from like a 1990s perspective. So back then it wasn't having the two guys' faces on billboards and you sit in front of them, things like that. So that's why it's still like every press conference that's like Takamura has been through. That's why they don't look as major, as massive like that. It's just, all right, you guys gonna fight tonight? You guys gonna fight tonight? That's pretty much it. That's why. And we don't know how many of Takamura's fights has been on pay-per-view either, compared to Martinez, which Martinez is literally a Mexican legend. Literally, he is a hero of an entire country, and Takamura is the unwanted, proudly accepted child of Japan. They love all his attributes, and they love his career. They love that he's Japanese champion. He's going to, and they cannot support his pervy ways and everything else Takamura does outside of the ring. You're supposed to be the face of Japanese boxing, and you're doing this. It's what? I was doing anything. Yeah. Ever since Yamaguchi showed up, we haven't gotten too much of Takamura and his failed dating life ever since he showed up. We haven't seen that for a while. Besides from the Midnight Kiss from Yamaguchi, besides from that. But hey, who knows how that turned out? The great Takamura has been missing ever since the Keith Dragon debacle. But hey, who knows? And arguably, you can easily point out, you gotta sprinkle the Takamura, not bathe us in it. You gotta sprinkle it in it. You gotta sprinkle it in it. Be me shop again. You got thoughts, opinion, like, comment, subscribe, and peace.